Whenever people say that, oh, this guy's a dictator, this guy's a dictator, the first thing that I always say is that if he's a dictator, he would shut the media up. But really, over and over and over again, every time we defend him, or every time anybody defends him and says, you should shut them up or whatever, the very first thing he says is, let them say what they want to say. You know why? Because this is a democracy, and the centerpiece, the not the apex, the crux of every democracy is freedom of speech. And let them criticize me. You know what? Let them lie about me. If we're talking about the lies being tossed back and forth from both sides, sure, there have been lies from the side of Duterte. Sure, there have been lies from the sides of the Yellows. But it's not even remotely balanced. It's not even remotely close. The Yellows have spewed so much lies against him, and it's disgusting, and it's clear as day, right? And you know what he says? Let them lie about me, because it's their right to do so. It's freedom of speech. Let them do all those things.
But why would all of a sudden then we're not getting the truth from you? We're getting a calculated type of thing.
But Mo, I agree.
Right.
I agree that not most of the time, but many of the times the truth can't come out because this is politics, and we live in a world that is never going to be black and white. That'll be incredibly intricate. That'll be multidimensional. And if we give out full truths all the time, it will be disadvantageous. Now, what I think should happen is we should release information, but the intention should always be good. You know what I mean? And that's the difference between this president.
How can the intention be good when the foundation is hate?
What do you mean? I
hate. Middle fingers, fuck you, this, that's hateful rhetoric.
But I think that's not where it comes from. I think that's the way he he releases statements, right? But I think more than any other precedent that we've had in the last at least 20 years, he's the guy that's actually trying to fix things. It's like I know that we
but
disagree.
Isn't that okay? Yeah, I know, and we do. And then sorry,
no worries, brother.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean I don't like you as a person. Obviously, I think highly of you.
Same.
But isn't that an odd mentality even for a guy like you to have? Like, oh, but at least he's the guy that's trying to fix things. But at what cost? And I know I don't want to repeat stuff that we've talked about. But let's say. Okay, Bam Aquino, for example, is a good point. Is a co-host of mine on the morning radio show, right?
Yeah.
So on Magic 89.9, he's with us. He goes with us. Guess what? He had to be removed last week. No explanation on my part. No explanation on his part. Nothing. Just got a call from the top. They say, hey, listen, Bam can't be on your show anymore.
He says
this is
something,
a week.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. No, I'm like, dude, Bam is so neutral. Well, clearly he's not neutral. You know, he's an Aquino, but he's nowhere near as radical as I am regarding the administration or my co-host, right? But you remember, he just lost his committee chair on education the week before, as well as many of the opposition guys, senators there. They all got removed. That's not coincidence. That's not. Oh, we're just going to go ahead and do that. You know, there are reasons that smells dictator to me. So with your free press. Explanation earlier. Yeah. I just lost the co-host. No explanation. No nothing. He doesn't know why. All because what? His last name is Aquino, or he doesn't like the president. Okay. He's gone from my show.
Hold on. Let me ask you this. Okay. So Bam. First of all, I know nothing about the situation. I don't even know what Bam says on the show and stuff like that. Right. And I'm sorry that you lost the co-host. I'm sure he's a sweet guy and all that stuff.
Yeah,
but if they really wanted to, if let's say. First of all, I think Duterte had nothing to do with this, okay? Like, I think that maybe one of the Magic 89.9 bosses said that, he should be removed or whatever like that. But it did not, my gut says it did not come from Malacanang. If they really, really, really wanted to silence somebody, they would silence the person that criticized Duterte the most. And they're never going to remove
No, but it's not, it's not about my show. I'm talking about, it's about lessening the power of people in government who don't side with you, starting with everyone from the vice president to all of these other senators, them losing their ability to influence law, legislation, so to push the agenda of the administration. That's how I see it. Again, I am not, and you know what I hate is because you're anti-Duterte, you must be an Aquino supporter. No, no. Actually, I was not very happy with President Aquino myself. It just so happens Bam is on my show. It doesn't mean that I'm a yellow, as many of you guys put it.
Right.
Yeah. In fact, I'm very critical. Hated Mar Rojas as a candidate. All of it. Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, my point being, it's not silencing Bam on my program. My program's not important enough for the president to be involved.
Yeah.
It's silencing people in government who can make a difference so I can push my agenda.
Okay.
And removing Bam from the show is probably the 100th thing on their list, if there was a list, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's I don't want to make ourselves important.
Okay, so I want to start. I want to start with this precedent. Okay, so you and I, let's say we're not pro and anti Duterte, but you and I are just pro Philippines. Agreed? We can find common ground on that. Okay, yes. Okay, so you and I are both going to be anti innocent lives dying, but we're going to be pro Duterte giving 1 billion pesos in free medicine. Common ground? Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but my
okay.
thing is, where'd you get
Correct.
that money?
Correct.
Because the thing is, like, it has to be clean money, though. In my
Sure,
opinion.
okay, that's fine and all that stuff. But here's the thing, okay, if we're talking about silencing people in the government or whoever can make a difference, you have please try to take this into consideration. Every major outlet in the country that are worth billions, who have the biggest reach, almost all of them are anti-Duterte. ABS-CBN, GMA, Rappler, Inquirer, these are the biggest media outlets, all mainstream media. And yet
You sound like Sean Spicer right now.
What is that? Sorry?
You sound like Trump's fucking press secretary when he just last night he was saying the same thing. All major media outlets,
No,
New York
but here's
Times,
the thing.
CNN.
I think though, here's the thing though. This is the reason why I think we live in really, really tricky times. Is because I think that all mainstream media is a piece of shit. I'm not even going to use the Philippines right now. Let's talk about let's talk about the States. Mainstream media in the States is fucking bullshit. CNN. All bullshit. They're all anti-Trump, all pro-Hillary. Fox News, super bullshit. All pro-Trump, all anti-Hillary.
God, you're so smart, Franco. Why do you have it as pro?
Because
if they're pro-Trump, it means they're anti. I mean, if they're anti-Trump, they're pro-Hillary. Why that logic? That's cool logic.
This is what I'm trying to say, and this is what I'm trying to say. It's because all these mainstream media outlets have lost all capacity for objectivity completely already, because they're controlled by giant corporations with agenda and ulterior motives, and that is why mainstream media in this day and age is absolutely not something reliable anymore. All their facts are fueled by bias, real subjectivity, because they're fueled by money.
But no, Franco, I have to interject here because Hillary lost the election, and let's not get too much into U.S. And I'm sorry, viewers, if you are, because obviously we're a Filipino show. Hillary lost the election, in my opinion, because of the media exposure regarding her emails, all that bullshit, right? Yeah. And then now, remember, historically, President Obama has always had rough ties with media establishments like Fox News.
Yes.
Fox News specifically, right? Yeah. So I don't get it. I don't get how it can be blamed on the media being pro one candidate over the other when what's in question, for example, with at least Donald Trump recently, is stuff that he himself put and started on his Twitter account.
Oh,
saying,
for sure.
The U.S. president, why you're tapping me. And then to say that, oh, well, the media is biased. No, that's material. The material that they are presenting comes from the source himself, not his spokesperson, not anyone else, but the source in Donald Trump. And that's what we see with Duterte. Now, let's get back to Philly. That's what we see with Duterte. When who's got a hard time is his press secretary, you see, Martin, whatever the fuck.
Martin Andenar.
Yeah, Andenar. He's sitting there struggling because he has to explain in a more political and a more diplomatic way what the fucking crazy fucking president just said.
Yes.
Very much like what the White House has to do with Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, I think Trump's a piece of shit and he's a fucking idiot, and I think that's very clear, right? With Duterte, okay, like here's the thing. We can keep the comparisons going on and on and on. If you'd like, give me a specific situation where Duterte said something, and if you're right about it, I will on air right now say that, oh yeah, Mo, you're absolutely right about it. But if let's say that there's misinformation, then I'll be like, oh Mo, this is what he actually meant. Because it's very hard to have
let me think.
You know what I mean? It's very hard to have a general. Right. Yeah, you know what I mean? Something like that. Right. If we specify something, I'm more than happy to explain for it. But this is what I would like. I guess everybody to know. I openly criticize him all the time. Like, I thought the Marcos burial was fucking horrible. I thought that when he cracked the rape joke a year ago, I thought that was disgusting. And I think that the loss of one innocent life in an entire drug war, even if we talk about the big picture and all that stuff, I think it's inexcusable, and it's a very slippery slope to say that we should sacrifice a few innocent lives for the lives of many. I can criticize him for all these things. Yet, in spite of that, I still think he's the best president we've ever had.
agree.
We've ever had.
Yeah.
And I
You
think
think he's the best president we've ever had?
Yes.
He hasn't even been there a year.
yes, and I think, and also.